Gold fever has officially hit New York City in a big way. I'll explain how and why in this video as we explore. Since 2022, we've seen central banks pick up the pace in their accumulation of gold. And since then, and even before then, you've heard this channel talk about how we can be our own central banks by holding gold. Yes, indeed. Buying it at your own pace, and that's what it's about. Gold is a metal that certainly has proven itself over the long course of time. But of course, right now in 2025, it's going through the moon. $4,000 an ounce, and it is just doesn't seem to be much slowing it down at this point in time. And I believe in accumulating, even at this price point. And there's different ways to be able to do that. My friends at Summit Metals know this all too well. You can get these little wallets for these 1 gram bars, and with modest premiums in comparison to what they have been in the past. And you can protect your wealth even in a way like this with gram gold bars. So check out Summit Metals. Link is in the description below. But with gold buying happening at such a pace, it's pretty remarkable. People have their own budgets and ways to be able to accumulate. And but I believe in having gold in your portfolio of some form, manner, and way. But it's becoming cost prohibitive to get full ounce sizes for many people these days. So we have to adapt. And but nonetheless, what's happening now in the Diamond District in Manhattan is something that is just really crazy what we're seeing right now. From a piece here from Danielle Di Bartolome has done a piece about what's going on in Manhattan's Diamond District. In the heart of that district, buyers are lining up outside shops as some stores can't let everyone in at once. For days, small crowds have been gathering in front of bullion exchanges, the precious metal shop run by Ben Saitlin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They got a familiar sight now in the narrow Midtown block. I could do this all day, he says. He told the Wall Street Journal. Many people still come in to sell, but most now walk through the door to buy gold. That's right. All these we buy gold places, well, now they're starting to sell. I see more people starting to sell gold or to buy gold rather than sell it back to shops. With prices soaring past $4,000 an ounce, an all-time record, trade in coins and bullion has surged, turning the area into a hub for those seeking safety amid economic uncertainty. The block, home to roughly 2,600 businesses, many owned by members of the Orthodox Jewish community, has been packed for days. Vendors stand at the sidewalks trying to draw in passers-by. At Diamond District Gold Buyers, owner Sandro Rogalski says it's become difficult to keep enough cash in the register. Sometimes I have to pay with checks or even walk with clients to the bank, he said. Cash runs out fast. The gold rush mirrors the broader mood of economic anxiety and global tension, from the war in Ukraine to the weakening of the dollar, undermined by President Trump's disruption of post-war trade policy. Setlin said that for months he bought up family jewelry and coins from people looking to cash out. But those same customers are now coming back to buy. He says this is not normal. They're hoarding gold out of fear for the future. They always ask me what to do with it. I tell them keep it in a vault and don't tell anyone. That's exactly right. Now, obviously, at channels like mine, we showcase gold, but we have to be very careful about our security, and you should be careful about your security too, whether accumulating even just a little bit of gold. Gold is something very small and compact and very valuable now. So keep that in mind. Inside his shop, shelves display South African Krugerrands, Swiss coins, and 20-ounce silver bars, along with gold coins wrapped in festive Diwali packaging for the Hindu holiday. The luxury market has followed the same trend. Jacqueline Miron, a vintage jewelry dealer, said that while many sell their gold for quick cash, wealthier customers are doing exactly the opposite. Affluent clients are buying a lot of gold as an investment, she said. Some are paying $10,000 for a gold chain, convinced it'll be worth more by the end of the year. And that's just it. You are making a gamble when you buy gold to some extent, because at any point we could be at the top of the market as the prices continue to rise. something that's got to give somewhere in terms of this bull rally, this bull run. What will that look like? How long will it take for the gold to top out? I don't know. So there's more and more people talking about $5,000 gold these days, and it's not crazy to think about that gold could be $5,000 soon. In fact, the talk of $10,000 gold is also not out of the realm of possibility. And we've heard other analysts talk about that for years. But of course, that is just essentially something to sell material. And, who knows? But we have to be careful with what our speculations are with gold. And that we should look at gold as a way to protect your wealth over the long course of time. Not a get-rich-quick scheme. But the fact that there's more buyers out there is telling us something, folks. It's telling us that people are nervous about what's going on in the economy, what's going on around the world, and there's a lot of things happening right now that could really cause things to get worse. Of course, things could get better too, such as the case with Gaza. That very well could wrap up soon, and we could have peace, at least in that region, which is something that we've not seen in quite some time. Obviously, a 2-year-plus war is something that we're dealing with that could come to an end, and actually has come to a ceasefire, at least at this point in time. And that could actually not be good for gold's price. It could subside a bit. Now, gold thrives on uncertainty. Gold's price thrives on fear. And it's also the fear for the strength of this. De-dollarization is something that's still very real these days. And also, inflation is something that's still very real these days. Prices have not come back down. They're just not rising as fast as they had in the past. Inflation is still here. But it's really only coming into the high 2% range, but it's still higher than the Federal Reserve's target. And so as we weigh what's going to be happening, what's been going on, and especially with the essential FOMO that's happening here, gold's prices could continue to climb, mainly out of people buying in, thinking it's going to go even higher. The psychology of the market is a powerful thing, but I'm a believer in holding at the very least of the gold that you have for the long course of time. And that is something that I've felt strongly about, especially since I made a marked decision in 2017 to accumulate more gold. But as we navigate this market and the big changes that are occurring in both gold and silver, we're going to continue to keep an eye on things and try to be as reasonable and not operate out of fear. I think that is absolutely crucial whenever we're buying or selling. Is to keep a level head with regards to gold and silver as well. But one thing that I think is fascinating about this story, about what's going on in Manhattan, is even if the price falls and people are buying more gold there in the Diamond District, I think people are going to learn. They're going to educate themselves, especially if they're first-time buyers. Who knows? Some of them may actually come across this video. You never know. Or other channels like this where we seek to educate and inform those that are holding precious metals or buying them. There's right ways and wrong ways to be able to buy and sell, obviously. And but nonetheless, seeing this kind of activity occur here in a Western city like this is quite intriguing. We've heard about what's going on in places like Japan and in Germany a few years back, and likely probably even now in Germany. I'm sure there's more people buying gold. There's been times where there's been a gold rush of many major shops and dealers out there of people buying it up. And so this is something we're keeping an eye on for sure, and we're hearing about it in more and more places, more and more big cities and influential countries around the world. And it's not just in China and India anymore. Yes, indeed, it is other very places that you would not expect to see this kind of activity. And you would not expect to see it when the prices are so high. But indeed, we're somewhat of a seismic shift there from selling to buying gold as individuals. So there you have it. Now, on this channel, I try to bring you the latest news and analysis on the world of precious metals. So if you enjoy what I do here, hope you will consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. With that being said, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.